What motivated you to start writing? Do you remember what it was? Was it friends and family cheering you on? Did you start writing to bring a smile to the face of a child? Was it to make you feel good about yourself or because you enjoyed it? Is it still the same? Do you still have a motivation or do you write merely because you always have? You can't have a was motivation. You have to have a now motivation. Why? Well, your motivation matters. If your motivation is wrong, then when it gets hard to write, it'll get hard to keep going. It'll get put on the back burner or you may quit writing altogether. What happens if you don't have a good now motivation and something happens that changes your or your family's life for good? What if your husband has a heart attack? What if your wife has a stroke and you suddenly become a caretaker? What if you have to take on another job? Or what if your world suddenly gets busier? Some people never finish their book because they just didn't put their book on the back burner. They took it off the stove altogether. At least if they put it on the back burner and never turned up the fire again, it's slowly simmering and will eventually get done, though it may take years to finish. Others quit because they get depressed or just because they don't feel like writing anymore. If you don't have a now motivation that's put in the right place, then you may be one of those that never finish writing your book. Finding your motivation is something that's easy to do. If you don't write because because somebody said that you should. Don't let anyone talk you into writing. You need to find your own motivation. If your only motivation is I'm writing this because so-and-so wants me to, then you have the wrong motivation. Instead, dig deep within yourself and find a motivation for yourself. So here's 3 ideas for you that will help you to come up with a motivation. 1, you can write for yourself. Because you like to or because you just need to get your story out is a good motivation. It's not the best motivation since we tend to put ourselves in the background so easily. But if it comes down to it, we may quit our book and even let ourselves stop writing altogether if it just hinges on us because we do put ourselves in the background so easily. Another thing you can use for motivation is you can write specifically for someone else. Write a children's book for your children or grandchildren. Write for all the children of the world or in the name of the child that you would have it had if you could. Some people write their books as a memoir to a loved one that has passed on. How do you stay motivated? How do you make sure that your now motivation doesn't become a was motivation? Be on constant watch. While you have it on your mind, take the time right now and write down what or who your motivation is. Date it. Put it somewhere in plain sight. Ask yourself often, is this still true? If not, dig deep and find your new motivation. Keep your note current. Helping your readers is the greatest motivation you can have. What do you mean, Nashoni? How do I help my readers? Well, you can help your readers through your characters. Your characters have a story to tell, and your characters, when well built, have a purpose to inspire and bless your readers. For instance, Jenny Lynn may struggle through childhood smothered with leukemia. She might bring hope to your readers as she battles through her ups and downs, and she won't always be strong. I mean, she's human, but maybe even through the pain, she chooses ultimately to trust in God's amazing grace and rest in his sweet peace. Maybe Rob, for instance, has lived a life of luxury from infanthood and knows nothing else. Maybe he gets heavy into drugs and ends up losing everything. Now he can touch your readers as they travel the long road from addiction to freedom with him. He's going to have struggles they can relate to. He may stumble here and there, he might even fall, but he always gets back up and eventually gains the freedom that will inspire your readers and touch their hearts. You can also motivate your readers or touch your readers through their story. Well, you have a story to tell. Everyone does. You can inspire others and bring them hope with your life story. Weave that into your book. Have your characters live it or pieces of it. If you're writing a nonfiction, you can still use your story and your experiences to help others. If you're writing a fiction, you can weave that into your book as well. God has given you a gift to use. Our gifts are given to us so that we can help and bless others and ultimately bring people to him. Not only will your writing inspire them, but knowing you're an inspiration or sower of hope will inspire and motivate you to keep on writing. What is your inspiration?